Our first speaker for tonight is Lisa Truesdale. The title of her subject, her title is Public Art Around the World. Lisa grew up in Estes Park, was a close personal friend of Samson the elk, and has lived in the Longmont Boulder area for almost 30 years. She's a freelance writer, editor, a commissioner on Longmont's art in public places, and for anybody who has ever served on AIPP, excellent job, great going. And she's the mother of 2 teenage daughters, so be nice. Let's give her a warm welcome.
We're going to go all the way around the world. We're going to start on the west side of Longmont. You've all seen Spirit of Longmont. It has the 48 leaves, and they change from green to yellow depending on the wind. And I've had a lot of people say that on their commute to Boulder, they like to see how many are changed and whether they're all green or all yellow. And there's 48 of them, so it's kind of cool to see that. And this is one of our newest pieces. Okay, this is in Durango. It's called My Children. It's by a Native American artist, Alan Hauser. And he also had a big display of his art at Denver Botanic Gardens last year. It was amazing to see him all throughout the gardens. And this reflects the Native American heritage of the Durango area. I like this piece. We're in Napa Valley now. This is called the DeRosa Preserve. It's 200 acres. It has a vineyard and gardens and lakes and ponds, and it has 2,000 works by 800 artists. And I like the variety. There's colorful, there's funny, there's whimsical, and those are really creepy right there. Okay, we're in Hawaii, my favorite place. This is the Japanese stone lantern on Kauai. It was erected in 1915 after the Russo-Japanese War, and then it was somehow buried and then unearthed, and then they didn't have the money to restore it, and they buried it again, and then they dug it up again, and finally they raised the money, and it was restored in 2008. Sydney, Australia has a Sculpture by the Sea competition every year in October, November. There's all these beautiful, again, I like the variety. There's funny, I love the faucets up there, and they're serious. And all the artists are there, and they give workshops and tours. This is Japan, the Hakone Open Air Museum. They have over 100 sculptures. This is called Weeping Angel. It's a fountain. They also have a Picasso pavilion with 300 Picasso works that his daughter donated. And they have sculptures by Henry Moore, who also had an exhibit at Denver Botanic Gardens, which I loved. This is cool. This is Delhi, India. It's called Apocalyptron, and it's kind of modeled after the Transformers characters, and it's made exclusively of reused, recycled detergent, laundry detergent bottles, shampoo, household cleaners, that sort of thing. Saudi Arabia had a competition, an art exhibit called We Need to Talk, and it asked 50 artists to give their views on the country, and this artist obviously thinks there need to be some changes because it says cleaning in progress and re-election, and I don't know if they got in trouble for that, but that was their view of the country. This is Siberian ice art on a very isolated lake. Isn't that cool? Wow. It's 9 square miles, and it took a crew of 10 people 15 days working 24 hours a day. 9 square miles, and it lasted from about March to May before it started to melt. Wow. I love that. In Gambia, in West Africa, they had a project called Wide Open Walls. It was a community mural project, and they wanted to dress up their little villages with the crumbling walls and the crumbling buildings. And they had artists from all over the world come and do this. And this was to promote tourism. And I don't know if it worked. I don't know if that's a hot tourist spot. But Hungary, my cousin lives in Hungary. He travels all over, and he posts photos on his Facebook page. So I always pull the ones off that are art, and I have a Facebook page called Public Art Around the World. I put them on there. He didn't say what this statue was, but I thought it was cool how he took it at night with the lights, and there's like a little tractor or something over there. Seville, Spain. I lived there when I was in college. This is the Plaza de España. They have all these benches. There's one for every province, so there's more than 50. That's the detail of the Barcelona one. But we would only sit in the Andalusia one, which is where Seville, that's Seville's province. We'd look at them all, but we'd only sit in the Andalusia. Dublin, Ireland. This is the Anna Livia Millennium Fountain. It's actually been relocated a couple times. I don't know how they did it. But locals make fun of it. They have some very funny names. One of them is Floozy in the Jacuzzi. The other one is Viagra Falls. Lima, Peru, Parque de Amor, the Park of Love, right on the ocean. These benches here have romantic scriptures and verses etched into them. That's El Beso, the kiss. It's right in the center, and they say that local couples stand underneath and try to break the record for longest kiss. New York City, this is Highline Park. It was made on an elevated rail line that was abandoned. It has benches and paths and artwork. This is still life with landscape. You can walk under it. There's bird baths and bird houses and things to attract birds and butterflies. It's very cool. Washington, D.C. at the National Academy of Sciences, the Einstein Memorial, 7,000 pounds. It was 20 separate pieces sculpted and that had to be welded together. And you can sit there and learn because etched on there is his actual theories, like the theory of relativity. They're actually etched right in there. Grinnell, Iowa. A 90-year-old man had collected more than 200 rusty wagon wheels. So he got up there and erected this beautiful sculpture. And people who make the trek, they're rewarded. There's a little picnic bench where they have lunch because it takes so long to get there. I had to include this. It was recently listed as one of the top 5 bizarre art pieces in the country. It was number 3. I think people are creeped out by the eyes. They may not know that the artist was actually killed during making this. Part of it fell on him and his assistants had to finish it. Chapungu Sculpture Park in Loveland is my favorite place. I make my family take me on Mother's Day. Those are my kids a couple years ago. There's more than 80 Zimbabwean sculptures. I love that style of sculpture. And there's ponds and paths. You have to go there if you haven't. It's so close. We're back in Longmont, East Side, Flor de Llano, another piece that has some funny nicknames and people make fun of. What they might not know is the limestone posts on the bottom are not headstones. They're just markers commemorating the 391 original settlers of the Chicago, Colorado colony that became the city of Longmont. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. All right, you know, one thing about art in public places, they do a great job. You just wonder, being married to an artist, I know that they take every little piece and bit that you throw out and they turn it into art. So one day I threw out one of the dogs hoping it would turn up in art, but the damn thing didn't come back in. So you just...